Study the Bible, not the sermon. I am the locksmith. Knowledge is the key. On formal mode. Happy Sabbath, by the way. Right? Don't get it twisted. I just felt like wearing a tie today. But anyway, I'm coming to you because it's a special edition. Not even an edition. I just want to make a couple comments because one of the sisters in my Facebook group, Bible Readers Accountability Partners, feel free to join, made a comment about Jehu in 2 Kings chapter 10 and how he destroyed Baal from out of the land, but then it said the Lord was pleased with that, but then he did not follow God with his whole heart, and he departed not from the sins of Jeroboam, right? And that's kind of deep. Sun worshipers make a series about the sins of Jeroboam and all kind of wild connections they make concerning the sins of Jeroboam. That's 2 Kings 10 and 31, if I'm not mistaken. And so I just want to throw some things out for the people in the group to go research. The sins of Jeroboam, we know that the kingdom was split. Rehoboam was Solomon's son. Jeroboam took the other tribes. Right now, what happened was, and this is 1 Kings like 9, 10, 11, 12, I think. And Jeroboam, what he did was he knew the people had to come to Jerusalem, and he thought they was going to forsake him and go back to Judah because he didn't know that this was from God. Remember, Rehoboam was going to go to war, but then the Lord told him, don't go up. This is from me. Jeroboam didn't know that. He thought that he might lose his kingdom at any time. So he set up 2 pagan images. And when we read this chapter, we always focused on the fact that he did what Aaron did, right? Who set up the golden calf, right? But upon further reflection, he set up 2 golden calves, right? And he set one of them up in Bethel or Bethel and the other one in the city of Dan, right? And I think that's pertinent information, right? Because first of all, Bethel is where Jacob wrestled with the angel and where something else happened with Jacob. Genesis 28, go check that out. In the town of Bethel. And the word Bethel means the house of God, right? Before Jacob came there, it was called Luz, right? So by the time we get to Jeroboam, Rehoboam, all of them, it's been called the house of God. Some other stuff happened in Bethel too. Go reminisce. Judges chapter 20, right? That's where the Ark of the Covenant was. Remember, house of God. One of the holy cities that the prophet Samuel used to rotate to on his little circuit. That's 1 Samuel chapter 7, verse 16. By the time Elijah gets there, 2 Kings chapter 2, Bethel is the place where the sons of the prophets live. Right? So this place is a special place. Right? You could think about Bethel. It's 12 miles north of Jerusalem. And if you think about Bethel as the house of God, that's the place where you might find a lot of religious people, right? And so it makes sense if you don't want the religious people going to Jerusalem, then you bring the pagan calf to their hometown. Now, when people rotate around there, they see the pagan calf and okay, well this, and then he said, these are the guys that brought you up out of Israel, not to mimic Aaron, but because the children of Israel knew that that's where they came from, and God did that, right? So he just changed up which guy did it, and then the people went after it, right? Lastly, and I think I'm gonna go deep on this one day. I'm gonna make a video, who knows? But lastly, the word Dan means judge. So he put the other calf in the city of judgment, in the house of God and in the city of judgment. All right. And you could think about subliminally what he's thinking about. What's he trying to imply here? It was strategic to put the golden calves in those 2 places. Right? Judgment represents government. Right? The religious center and the place of judgment, both in the northern kingdom, right? Lastly, the last thing Jeroboam did, Jeroboam did that I want to talk about here at this moment is that after he set up the golden calf, he kept the feasts of the Lord. He didn't proclaim new feasts because remember, Israel, no, it's been here since Judges, since Joshua and them, or since right after Joshua and them. So everybody know who God is and what he do. So instead of creating new feasts like people do nowadays when nobody knows God, he had the same feast. That's 1 Kings 12, 32, 33. He instituted the 8th day feast. Remember, the 8th day is when the Father comes down. That's the kingdom of God. Right? And he did that with the golden calf. And I think that's what made me want to do this video, because it kind of reminiscent to what we got going on now, where we have a form of godliness, but not really the truth. Right? So, shout out to the sister that brought that up, that got my mind moving and working. Let's all do some more research, and let's see if we can go deep on this sins of Jeroboam. Study the Bible, not the sermon. In case you didn't know me, LOCKSMIF, they call me the locksmith, because knowledge is the key. 1.